Thank you for joining today's session on enterprise coaching at scale. This is a part of the Agile 20 Reflect Festival, which is bringing all of us together on a single platform to discuss, like-minded exchange ideas and, collaborate. Um, Before I just move on, I just want to give a disclaimer that and apologize that there was a confusion in the session timing as well as towards the link that was provided. Unfortunately, there's some technical glitch that is only accepting the meeting code and not the link which has the same code in it. But nonetheless, I will be sharing this recorded session to the Agile 20 Reflect forum, and let's get started. A little bit about me. I'm an Agile consultant, trainer, and coach. I also practice and transform in enterprises in their agile journey. I act as a change agent, bring across practices and industry, workabouts to the organization that I, help transform. And apart from that, I also, in the recent past, have been playing roles in the capacity of a product consultant for an Agile and Devops continuous delivery lifecycle management platform. I manage academia and also professional services, which includes implementation for large-scale enterprises, engagements, so on and so forth. I'm also a SAFe certified or a Scale Agile Framework certified program consultant, 5.0, SAFe Agilist, 4.6, 5.0, and a certified professional from IC Agile. All right. So as I was saying that I'll be going through the agenda around covering up the determine, design, develop stage, which is the foundational elements. I'll be talking a little bit more in the upcoming slides. I'll also be talking about the delivery aspects of it in terms of implementing the transformation and scaling methods. And I'll be talking about how important coaching is in the enterprise and giving my thoughts around what an enterprise coach pretty much does in the transformation. I also, in this starting slide, I want to give some, inputs around how we can collaborate. I also have a Jamboard, which is, created. I will be sharing the link in the chat window. And this is also parking lot for you guys to collaborate and ask questions if you want. It's very simple. You can give in your suggestions, your ideas by simply putting a sticky note. And if you have any questions, which I'm not able to address in the end of the session today, you can definitely come across to this Jamboard and paste your sticky notes out here and leave me your contact information so I can, connect and respond back, or I will be giving a little bit more description around your questions to the best of my ability. So I hope you would have already got the link to the Jamboard, and you're also welcome to put your question and answers in the forum in the chat window out here. With that, I'm going to go ahead with the initial foundational phase. The first two phases are clubbed together to cover up all the foundational elements that you need as a part of the transformation, as a part of the coaching that is to be considered during the transformation. So, like I mentioned to you, the determine, design, develop stage is the foundation of any transformation journey. And as a coach, as a mentor, as a part of the system, you definitely need to go through this stage not just once at the beginning of the transformation, but iteratively. So that's why I kind of put these three dots to show that this is a journey and it's not just the beginning. You will be covering up, you'll be going to loops and into iterations of doing some parts of the exercise, retrospecting how things are working in your organization, in your transformation, and adopting these best practices as you go across. So the very first, these cards have not been chronologically ordered. These are just, in random sequence. But I'll be talking the importance of each of these sub-elements in the from a coaching aspect. So you start with the assessment. Your assessment stage is where you primarily determine, what is the current capability of your organization. What is the agile maturity of your organization. Uh, these will give you insights and the starting point to address what exactly needs to be done during the transformation itself. The agile assessment or agile assessment and maturity framework, you have a lot of them, and you primarily can engage consultants, industry consultants, agile consultants to help you with this activity for your organization. So basically, you collect a lot of parameters from within your organization, understand how this is going to fit into and give that leverage into your transformation journey. Um, uh, you also have things that you can pull from the World Wide Web and try to understand the questionnaires behind the assessment models that are there. That will surely give you insights as a coach and as a change agent within the system of what needs to be done, what can be done to make your organization successful in the transformation journey. What are things that really impact or impede when you start off with transformation like this. Um, uh, I'm a consultant as well, and I have brought across a second dimension in terms of the agility assessment framework. Not just the single aspects of what needs to be done, but also, like for example, if there's a cultural impediments in your organization, how does that impact change? How does that resist change in your organization? How does that resist that mindset and the cultural shift that we want to achieve as part of the overall transformation? How do we bring in those agile cultures? Um, eh, Another example is like, for example, your organization or certain parts of your organization are very strong in the command and control kind of culture. What does that impact in your organization during the actual transformation itself? How is it going to, reflect in when you're trying to bring in business value to your customers, or for that matter, how is that going to influence the overall transformation? So the assessment stage will help you define all these answers, all of these questions, and give you answers that will bring into a leeway for your transformation. Other things that an agile coach will definitely keep in mind before you start the actual transformation is what are those things that what are the metrics and KPIs, the OKRs that is required for my organization, that will help my organization realize the true value, the ROI that we are trying to build across. What is that, the data aspects of it, that just not, does not come out from the system, but how do we extract the data and make information out of it? What is your change, reflecting for the transformation? What are those aspects that you can build out of it? Not just at the team level, not at just at the program level or a portfolio level, but even beyond. What is my leadership wanting to see out of this journey? Are we going to be successful? Are we going to are we having the system talk back to you in terms of what is required during the actual transformation? And how are we retrospecting this information? You're not just collecting information for the sake of it. You want to, take some course of action, excuse me, uh, when you understand, if there's a report or a metric which says that the velocity is not fine at the team level, or for this specific confined area, we see some impediments or some constraints. How do you act on it? Or what do you do to, resolve that issue for the team, for the program, or that specific area? And as a part of the Agile transformation, you also want to, especially when if you're adopting models like the scaled agile framework, you definitely want to uh, look deep into the business agility of it, how lean your organization is going to look like, what are those things that is really going to help me in the overall journey. And as a coach, it is very important for you to not just read them, but also to showcase that back as the information radiator to the audience, to the overall stakeholders of the ecosystem. Um, you also have the standardization. So when you talk about any transformation, as a coach, you have to, think long down the, roadmap. What are the people aspects of it? What are the process aspects of it? What are the tools and technology aspects of it? And how do we bring a standardization? How do we bring a cadence to the timely delivery of things? How do we bring across a consistency in the overall system and the way how the entire arms of the organization work? What are those things that we definitely want to try out, as a MVP, or pilot out if this thing works in theory, is it going to work in practical or not? So you need to be consistently looking around the standardization options, especially because it's not just a different delivery, but you're also looking at a lot of fundamental changes in the way that you're going to work. So with the agile way of working, especially for a greenfield kind of setup, you definitely want to know those things which needs to standardize. Things that have been working the past for past decade or 2 decades. These processes are very stringent, very tightly coupled. How do you decouple those and to make that work for your organization? For an example, I've been driving on the right-hand side all my life, and I've been driving a manual. When I went to the US, I had to adapt to the left side of the driving. So, what are those fundamental changes that I need to adopt and standardize in terms of working? What are the things that I subconsciously need to adapt? Those are things that you definitely want to think through and standardize those things, processes, tools, and the mindset when you look forward for the standardization in your journey. Next, the training aspects of it. This again is a very important aspects of it. Now, of course, when you're going through a transformation, you need to train, everything from the leaf node to the entire organization. The entire system is going through something new. They're going through a change. So, at a team level, at a mid level, at an enterprise level, at a leadership level, at a business level, so at all levels, you definitely want to envision the change and train them. These changes are not just organic trainings that you give. Hey, this is Jira. This is how I, build an issue, how to create tickets, or so on and so forth. Not just that, but you need to definitely look at how all of that comes into the system together, and make that hands joined together, and realize the potential of that training. So at the team level, if you are giving a training to a particular agile team, you need to also ensure that while you're telling the team that you are cross-functional, you're um, going to work collaboratively within the agile team. You also need to let them know that you cross collaborate with other teams. You also need to know if the typical delivery manager who comes into picture with a command and control hat. What are those things that need to be trained to him, as well as and how they need to fit into the overall systems? What are the roles and responsibilities that they need to adopt? At the same time, what this team needs to do in terms of uh, addressing any kind of issues that might impede in the agile way of working for them. Mm. The training at the leadership level is also very, very important. Like I mentioned to you with this example, wherein the delivery manager kind of comes with a command and control kind of hat. This kind of scales up at an enterprise level, and you definitely need to consider all of these when you coach, not just at the bottom level of it, but at the top level as well. And the inorganic changes are also something that need to impart time in and time out. You definitely need to do this as a iterative process once you go into the actual transformation also. This will definitely come across during the retrospectives, during feedback that you get from the system, from the agile teams, from the business stakeholders, and you need to adopt and retrospect. Why is this happening? Why are things working the way it is working today? What can we do to improve that, and help the organization learn something new? It's a continuous learning process as well, and that continuous learning process is something that definitely needs to go into the overall system for training. Then comes the DevOps and the DevSecOps ecosystem. Um, so when you start off with the transformation, you definitely want to build the foundational elements around how things will work with the continuous development and continuous delivery kind of life system. That ecosystem needs to be built from scratch up, be it the architectural part of it, be it the environment that your team requires to deliver value, and be it the business itself. If we kind of miss out on the end focus on the customer, which goes to the business planning of it. So that continuous chain of it, we definitely want to bring in all those aspects together, and embed all these principles and practices into a very gelled up system. You are probably aware of the DevOps ecosystem, and now the dev security operations together as well, kind of takes a place into the overall transformation journey. And again, these are the elements that you need to consider right from the beginning, not when you are actually doing the transformation. And you definitely, as a coach, collaborate with the system architects, the solution architects, the enterprise architects, or the chief information officer. So, all of these partners come into the picture, to give you the smoother part or the runway for you to build, the building blocks of your transformation. And another consideration, and these are not just the six aspects that I want to bring across, but these are one of the six primary aspects that are fundamental. And the last one, which I am going to talk about, is the application lifecycle automation. Now, again, a little bit that I covered up in terms of the DevOps kind of ecosystem. It comes with tools and practices that is required in terms of building that thing, like a machine kind of momentum that needs to be built into your organization. And automation is also a very important aspect of it. You need to definitely bring value, and speed up things when the business requires. And again, be it testing automation, be it the process automation, there are a lot of things that you need to seek efficiency in the way how it is going to work. uh, I, if I'm doing 10 steps today for a particular, as a part of a particular process, I definitely want to see that these, 10 steps are optimized to the way how it is doing. So if I am taking, 5 hours to get these 10 steps completed, I want to see if I can bring in some kind of bots or some kind of automation aspects of it to reduce these 10 steps, or reduce and or also better the time output of it. Why 5 hours? Can I get this done by automating it in say 2 hours or 3 hours? So even if it brings in 20, 30, 40% of efficiency, you start off with that. You practice that, and you also continuously churn out that optimization as you go through the overall journey. And this is something that is definitely something that will help you in the overall outcome. Make the system lean in the way how you take it forward. So this covers the foundational element. I'm going to go into the considerations for scaling. Now, when you start delivering, this is the initial stepping stone of when you go into the actual aspects of delivering or the implementation. I'm not going to talk about the implementation itself, but I'm going to start discussing around the delivery aspects of it. So now, with any scaling or any kind of transformations that your enterprise is going through, or your community is going through, or your portfolio is going through, or clusters are going through, it's going to be a time-taking process. The change cannot be just done overnight or in a short window period of time. So this transformation window will bring in a lot of mixed bag of excuse me, mixed bag of practices, the way how things are operating, the way how things should be operating, the tools that were working in the past, and how we are, bringing across the change and trying to make it work currently and in the future. The roles and responsibilities tend to change with the new way of transformation. So all of these actually bring in a lot of considerations, a lot of input, and these inputs are very important to the coach. You need to clearly look for the cues that the ecosystem is providing you with. It could be direct cues as well as indirect ones. As a coach, you definitely need to focus and understand the importance of both aspects of it. So direct cues could be in terms of the feedback that you get, the reports and the metrics and things that are brought across to your knowledge in terms of what are things that is not working, or what are things that needs a little bit of fix. How do we leverage the overall aspect of to make it more smooth for the organization? So all of these things definitely comes up, and these are the things that you definitely want to look at. I'm just going to do a quick time check and quickly go through the next aspects of it. You also have to look at what are the influences in this overall transformation. So it's not going to be an easy journey. Definitely not. I've seen a lot of mid-scale transformation, large-scale transformations, and even the pilot transformations. Choke up on a lot of things, And this transition window, which I was talking about, brings a lot of insight into how things, what are those dominant processes that is kind of holding up the change, and all of these kind of you describe an anchorage or a bottleneck into the overall transformation. So as agile coaches, you definitely need to have those qualities to understand that, retrospect that and act on it. One of the typical things for such problem statements is to go with prescribed options. You have a lot of industry scaling frameworks like the scale agile framework or the safe framework, or you can even look at the large scale or scrum or scrums, or you have a lot of options that kind of work out for your organization, and these are things you definitely want to consider as you move on. Now, again, when you look at coaching, in the enterprise, you definitely want to have some qualities that kind of foster that change. You need to yourself adopt that change and put it into practice. You need to definitely want to address all these pockets of information that is spread across your enterprise for that change. And you definitely will have a lot of these change agents as agile coaches, as consultants, as scrum masters in your organization. You just need to join those dots and ensure that together it's a system that is working for your organization. You are practicing and fostering that change, the drift in the agile way of working. Uh, any coach and every coach needs to be a functional enabler that actively participates in that ecosystem of change. This is one. The next is something that I definitely call out. You need to zoom in and pan out whenever required. What do I mean by zoom in and pan out? So as an enterprise coach, you definitely want to know, zoom into the details or nitty-gritties of things where, uh, there are some issues and some changes that is constantly brought up to you through the Scrum Masters, through the Agile coaches, through the teams. So you definitely want to zoom in as much as you can to understand at least what is going on, and at the same time, you need to pan out and look at it from an enterprise level, from a business level, from a external entity kind of perspective. So you need to have that zoom in, pan out kind of perspective, and this leads to the next thing. You must also practice and tease this alignment. So alignment is important, not just like you see the things as required, you zoom into things and pan out, but your agile teams also have to understand, what's going on at the team level, but at the same time, what is going on at a leadership level in that portfolio, what is going on, how does the things look in the roadmap, what are those things that is impacting from external organizations. You have the budget come across, how is that going to impact uh, our business. Those are things that you definitely need to question, and you must practice and see that kind of alignment for the teams also to understand. So every entity participates into this, participates actively in this, and you need to definitely bring that alignment. And the next two things is definitely need to demonstrate the thought leadership and the out of box thinking or the innovation that is required. You need to think different ways of coaching because if you're going to bring across a consistent or a monotonous kind of way of doing a coaching, uh, these might not be very well appreciated, or even if it is appreciated right now, in the long term, people are going to just come out of that comfort zone and do the way how they were prior doing. So you definitely want to make them uncomfortable, or at the same time bring in some innovative way of doing it, engage them in some kind of agile games and activities and so on and so forth. So these qualities are something that you need to you would process as a leader, as a change agent, but you also need to practice those things as an agile coach. Uh, uh, And with that, I would like to thank you for joining the session. I am a little bit over the time. I'll be, retrospecting around the issues with the timing as well as the link that did not work out, well for the participants to join the session. But at the same time, I will be looking at another session on the 27th, a little bit of continuum from the current session, as well as a longer session to cover all the aspects of the journey. And I hope to see you as well out there. In the meantime, if you have any questions around the today's session, feel free to use the Google Jamboard for the questions, and or connect with me on LinkedIn. You can look me up with Dharmesh Kumar. So definitely, feel free to connect with me.